Okay, this video is going to take us through page 2 of our notes. We actually started this last class, but we only got a couple, so this video is going to cover the entire page 2. And so what we're looking at here is we're just going to discuss some things about the if statement. So the compiler, so what are we going to be putting in here? So the compiler, and the key word is decides. The compiler decides which branch to execute. Okay, and based on whether the condition is true or false. And in our homework the other night, then the compiler in an if statement, which we have here, the if statement makes a decision based on whether the condition is true or false. If it's true, then the compiler jumps in here and adds 10 to the current allowance. If it's false, then the compiler will decide to skip this and actually add 3 instead. All right, so that's how it's operating. Then the next thing is that relational operators are used, and so these are going to be important to know how to use these. So we're going to deal with these more and more as we go along. So you have the greater than symbol, you have the less than symbol, you have the greater than or equal to symbol, which is not available on your keyboard like we have it in math. So this is how we do it on the computer. So it's greater than or equal to, and there cannot be a space in between these two. If you have a space, then it will not read that correctly. You also, of course, then have a less than or equal to, and then this is going to throw some people. You also have an equal symbol, and then you have a not equal to. So you can imagine that the exclamation mark, exclamation point means not. So not equal to. So if something is not equal to something else, then the compiler makes a decision based on that. Alright, so these are relational operators because they operate the idea of deciding what the relationship is between two operands or two items. And so we do need to discuss the equals. So this would be good to write in your notes. Please write this on your notes. Because this is a possible or a common place of error. And so if you notice, then if we go, if we went if and we went num1 is greater than 5. Okay, so then the compiler, what that would mean, of course, the compiler would look at that and go, is num1 greater than 5? It would ask that question. So it's either true or false. Now, if you have if num1 equals 5, what is the computer asking? Is num1 equal? And now, we really should say, so remember, num1 is a variable. So you have a memory location over here that is, num1 is some kind of value. So num1 is assigned, declared, let's say it's declared already, and it's assigned 7. So is 7 greater than 5? Well, in this case it would be true. Now we're asking, is num1 equal to 5? So this symbol evaluates the equality of two operands. It evaluates the value of two operands to be true or false. Alright, so either this is not true, or it's not equal, or it is equal, and so that's what it's asking. And so the response is this is true or this is false. In this case, num1 is 7, then of course this would be a false evaluation. It would be evaluated to be false. Now, but look at this. What does this mean? This means, which you should already have the answer, num1 is assigned 5. So if you put just one equal sign in your condition, the compiler is going to look at this. It goes if, and it goes, so I have to evaluate this to be true or false. Well, this isn't a yes or no question. This is saying that 5 is being stored or being assigned to num1. That's not a question of yes or no. You can't be evaluated to be true or false. And so these are very different. Now we put that in there. Now it goes, oh, evaluations go, oh, is num1 equal to 5? And that's how that works. So it's very important you understand the difference between equals and equals. All right, so in fact the single equal sign we don't even say is equals, we say is assigned. Okay, the branch body can contain one or more program statements. Or you could say can contain any number of program statements. And so we could, here's the body, here's the branch here, in the body of the branch. You could have, more lines of code. It's just fine. You can have as many lines of code as you need. So that is important to understand that. The branches are either executed or skipped. Branches are either executed or skipped. So if the roll of the dice is larger than 10, then this branch is executed, this one is skipped. If it is false, if this condition is false, then the if branch is skipped, and then this is executed. Alright, so that's how that works. The next thing is, on our notes, is indentation. Okay, so please make sure that you understand how to indent. And so some students still have a problem with indenting, but when you come into the body of the main method, that's as far as we've gone so far. We just have that indentation. But see now, after that, you have this, but then you have the body of the branches, and that's another level of indentation. All right, so make sure you do that. We're modeling that in our examples and our homework and so forth. And so make sure that you understand that. The next thing is that braces are not required if a branch contains just one statement. So braces are not required if a branch contains just one statement. So we're going to look at this situation on braces on JGrasp. So if you'll notice in this particular program, the condition is 9 greater than 10? Well, obviously 9 is not greater than 10. It never is and never will be greater than 10. And so we want both of these statements to be executed. And so we put braces. Oh, I just realized something. So what I just changed this. So the idea is we're asking, is 19 greater than 10? And yes, we want it to say 19 is greater than 10. It always will be greater than 10. So that would make sense. And then it would go on and say, now let's look at another situation. And so we then compile that and we run it. And so it says, yes, 19 is greater than 10. It always will be greater than 10 now. And now let's look at another situation. Okay, so all that's fine. And we have both braces in there. So now let's look at what happens when we take away the braces, and let's see what happens if we change this to 9. And so 9 is we want it to say let's see, let's check this out. Okay, I messed up on the previous example, so I fixed it. Now what we're doing, we're rolling the dice, entering your score. If you roll more than 10, you win. And so here's the condition: is to roll more than 10. And your roll, if if it is, then we have 2 braces here because we have 2 statements. Your roll is greater than 10, you win 15 kittens, and so yay. And then do you want to roll again? So if we were to then run that, that's what should happen. Oh wait, enter our score. Let's say it's 11, so we should get that your roll is greater than 10, yay, and you win 15 kittens. Now do you want to roll again? Okay, so now let's do this. Let's go. Let's say we forgot, we're used to not using braces, so we're just not going to use our braces. So what's going to happen here? And so we let's compile it. So the compiler doesn't care if there's no braces or not, but what it reads and what it executes is going to be what's important. Let's say that we enter a score that's going to make it false. So we look at this and we go, okay, it says you win 15 kittens. Well, I shouldn't win 15 kittens because I rolled a less than 10. Well, so what happened here? So what happened is it says if 8 is 8 greater than 10, and no, it skips the if branch, and so the if branch, it only recognizes one line of code. We said if you only have one statement in the if in a branch, then you don't need curly braces. And so if there's no curly braces, then the compiler assumes that you only have one statement in your branch. And this would be it, the next line. So all it does is skip this one and now goes on to the next line. Well, that's going to be a problem because you win 15 kittens is not supposed to be associated with this roll of the dice. And so that's why you must have, if you have 2 lines of code or more in your branch as possible choice, then you've got to have your curly braces. So if we were then to rewrite this and just say okay, you win 15 kittens, and then we could go like this. We could say else if they didn't win, then we could say okay, sorry. What just happened there? I do not know what happened. Wow. Okay. So sorry. Alright. Now there's no curly braces, but it's okay because we have got it so that there's only one statement in each one. So we go, let's say 11. Alright, you win 15 kittens. Do you want to roll again? So it skipped sorry. Let's run it again. We'll go 8. So it skips the you win 15 kittens, says sorry, which is appropriate because they didn't win. Do you want to roll again? Alright, so that's how that works. Let's go back to our notes, get through this. I just blew it. I just wasted some time there. So let's go in here. So 3.1, write code to skip 13th and 14th floor. So let's say a building skips 13 and 14. Write down what you think the condition should be and then what it's going to do if it's true. Pause the video and then come back to it. So what you should have is so it's going to be if floor is greater than 14, because they can only enter, there's not a 13th and 14th floor, so they're going to enter anything from 1 to 12 and then anything from 15th and higher. So if they enter something higher than 14, then what do we want the compiler to do? Well, the compiler then at that point then would do the actual floor is assigned whatever the actual floor is. So assigned. Sorry, I did that wrong. Will be the floor minus 1. Alright, so it'll take the floor, whatever they entered. If it's 17, they're going to go 17 minus 1, only it's not 1, it's 2. And they're going to say, okay, really, you're only 15 stories high. If you say 17, because we skipped 13th and 14th floor, you're only 15 stories high. Alright, so that's that. Let's go on to the next one. Calculate, take this if statement here, calculate for if the original price is 95, 100, and 105. So do that and then come back to this and see how you did. Okay, so if it's 95, of course that's false, so it's going to skip the if branch or the else branch and only subtract 10. So this would be 85. And then let's see. Alright, so this is going to be 85 for this one, and then the 100 is going to is not greater than 100, so this is only going to subtract 10, so they're 90, and then 105 is greater than 100, so we're going to subtract 20, so it is $85. Alright, so that's how that works. Now what we want to do is we want on number 6, we want to have you change the code. So take this code right here and change it to be less than, and make any adjustments you need to this code to make it get the same numbers, 85, 90, and 85. Okay, so try that and then check back. Alright, so if you did this, hopefully you already did this, if we do less than 100 and you take this 95, first of all, 95 is supposed to yield, take away $10. So 95 says 95 is less than 100, which is true. Then it's going to do, it's going to execute the if branch. Because if anytime this is true, we go to the if branch. Well, this is subtracting 20, so that's a problem. So what we can do then is let's go ahead and change this to 10. All right, so that would work. So, but let's keep going. It says 100. Now 100 is not less than 100. So it's going to say this is going to say false. So it's going to skip this and make it subtract. Oh, I messed up again. Man. If we change that to 10, we got to change this to 20. So if it's 100, it's supposed to subtract just 10, right? But in this case, the 100 is not less than 100, so it's going to skip and make this be minus 20. Well, that's a problem. So what can we do to make that right? Well, we want 100 to be equal to. So what we could do is add an or equals. All right, so that would accommodate the 95 is less than 100. It also can accommodate 100 is equal to 100. So you see, it does both of those, either one. And so what that would do is that would make 100 is equal to at least one of those. So therefore, we just have to subtract 10. So that's good. And now you go and check your 105. 105 is less than or equal to? No, it's false. So it skips this and subtracts 20 just like it did originally. All right, so that's how that would work, and that's just to show you that the direction of the symbol, the less than or the greater than symbol, is very important, and you can do it either way. You can make either one of these produce the same results. So you have to be very careful in how you set up your code in this manner. All right, so that is it for for page 2.